The following program, The Russ Belville Show, is intended for responsible adults only. We advocate to the repeal of marijuana prohibition for adults. We discuss the science, culture, and controversy about America's marijuana laws. We do not advocate any illegal activity and encourage all listeners to learn their state and federal marijuana laws. Opinions and claims made by guests and advertisers on The Russ Belville Show are their own, and The Russ Belville Show cannot be held legally responsible for their validity or reliability. Viewer discretion is advised.
You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it. You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it, and it goes down smooth. Hey!
Spanning the continent to bring you the truth about cannabis and marijuana law reform.
I smoke pot and I like it a lot.
From the promise of legalization.
And I think that we think that we criminalize our marijuana laws.
To the agony of prohibition.
One major responsibility is to encourage people to use less drugs.
The Russ Belville Show, the voice of the marijuana nation.
Yeah, I hear you had a question for me.
Now, here's your host, Radical Russ Belville.
All right, you tokers and tokettes, welcome to the weekend. It is Friday, March 1st, 2013, and it's got to be 420 somewhere in the world. Welcome to the show. All sorts of fun we're having today, not the least of which is some deep dish Chicago pie that we'll be eating later tonight on the Herb Thrasher Flower Hour, 8 p.m., courtesy of the individuals who lived up to their bet as the Green Bay Packers had a better season than the Chicago Bears. We'll do it again next year, fellas. Hey, on today's show, we've got all sorts of stuff to debunk. The reefer madness is thick in the air today. At the end of the show, I'm going to get into a radical rant. Kevin Sabet is on his barnstorming tour across Ohio, and he just had a really offensive quote here. 90% are registered, medical marijuana patients, for ailments such as headaches and athlete's foot. End quote. So in the Radical Rant, I'm going to take a look at the statistics from 5 different states with medical marijuana registries and find out exactly what they are registered for. And is it true that over 90% are registered for pain only? You'll get the facts right here because you know me, I look shit up. Also, we're going to take a look in behind the headlines at this phenomenon of law enforcement investigators using green tongue as an excuse to bust people, as an excuse to search them for marijuana, and whether or not this is scientifically accurate at all. Also in today's show, activist agenda. Big thanks to Big Daddy Fang for giving me the heads up on this. A great video coming from 3sonorans.com, a Latino activist site, on people asserting their constitutional rights at Border Patrol checkpoints. As you know, the Border Patrol can set up anywhere within 100 miles of a U.S. border or shoreline, and they often use these stops as pretexts to bust people for weed. Snoop Dogg, Willie Nelson, Chris Barnes, the 6 Feet Under, Fiona Apple are just some of the people busted at Border Patrol checkpoints. We'll take a look at how you can assert your constitutional rights and get out of these stops. Coming up in the activist agenda at 1:30. Also on today's show, we got all sorts of headlines we got to get to in our 420 radio news. You may have heard on the news about this sequestration that's going on with the federal government. How's that going to affect the ONDCP and the DEA? The Kentucky hemp bill has stalled. We'll tell you about that. Medical marijuana for PTSD in Oregon has made it through committee. Kathy Jordan Medical Marijuana Act in Florida has been dropped. Arkansas's medical marijuana is up for round 2, and a woman sues FedEx over a pot delivery.
We'll be right back after these messages from our 420 friendly sponsors. Support these advertisers because their ad money goes straight to the Russ Belville Show. You're tuned into the Russ Belville Show, the voice of the marijuana nation.
I'm Subcool from Team Green Avenger. At TGAgenetics.com, we are working on the leading edge of medical strains. Our strains are rigorously tested for THC, CBD, THCV, and other critical cannabinoids. Know your grow. Check out our genetic diversity at TGAgenetics.com. the home of Jelly Bean, Jack the Ripper, Vortex, and other award-winning cannabis strains.
Now it's time for your 420 radio news for Friday, March 1st, 2013. I'm Russ Belville. Sequestration could be a good thing for medical marijuana dispensaries. This from Reason.com. The automatic budget cuts set to take place today might have government contractors on edge, but they could also bring sweet relief to the medical marijuana dispensary owners fearful of government crackdowns. According to the OMB's report to Congress, the DEA will lose $166 million from its $2 billion staffing and appropriations budget, reducing its funding to 2002-2003 levels when the DEA first began coordinated crackdowns on medical marijuana dispensaries. Department of Defense Drug Interdiction and Counter-Drug Activities budget of $1.6 billion will be reduced by $157 million. There'll be a $43 million hit to the DOJ's Interagency Crime and Drug Enforcement budget of $528 million. $25 million will be trimmed from the DEA's Diversion Control Free Account budget of $335 million. $2 million will be trimmed from the Office of National Drug Control Policy, the Drug Czar's office, from their budget out of $25 million. The High-Intensity Drug Trafficking Areas Program budget of $239 million will be reduced by $20 million, and other federal drug control programs with a budget of $100 million will undergo $8 million in cuts thanks to the sequestration. Kentucky hemp bill stalls, faces tight House schedule. This from the Courier-Journal. The latest Courier-Journal Bluegrass poll found that 65% of Kentuckians favor legalizing hemp for industrial uses, compared to 22% opposed and 13% unsure. The Agriculture Commissioner James Comer's bill to move the state closer to allow farmers to grow hemp hit a roadblock Wednesday, endangering its chances with only 10 days left in the 30-day session. Agriculture and Small Business Committee Chairman Tom McKee, a Democrat, adjourned the Wednesday committee without taking a vote on Senate Bill 50. McKee's committee has one more regularly scheduled meeting in a week, but McKee would not say whether there will be a vote on SB 50 either then or at the special meeting. Bill to allow medical marijuana for post-traumatic stress disorder advances in Oregon from the statesmanjournal.com. A bill that would allow people with post-traumatic stress disorder to get medical marijuana cards advanced Thursday despite mixed views from lawmakers. The Senate Health and Human Services Committee passed Senate Bill 281 on a 4-1 vote, referring it to the Senate President's desk, where it will be assigned to another committee. It's expected to move to the Senate Judiciary Committee next. Some lawmakers said they were convinced by testimony that medical marijuana could effectively treat PTSD, but others were skeptical. Chairwoman of the Senate Health and Human Services Committee, Senator Lori Monis Anderson, Democrat, said she heard some compelling reasons during public hearing why PTSD should be added to the state's medical marijuana list. Those who were dealing with PTSD told lawmakers that medical marijuana helped with nightmares and flashbacks, she said. Senator Jeff Cruz, a Republican, voted against the bill. He said lawmakers should take a broader look at the state's medical marijuana programming and suggested that therapy would be a more effective way to treat PTSD as opposed to prescribing a drug. Kathy Jordan Medical Marijuana Act introduced in the Florida legislature. You may not know the name Kathy Jordan, but you will soon. Jordan is the woman at the center of the battle to legalize medical marijuana in Florida. She suffers from Lou Gehrig's disease, and she grows and smokes marijuana to help alleviate the pain. Wednesday, State Senator Jeff Clemens of Lake Worth introduced State Bill 1250 in Tallahassee, entitled the Kathy Jordan Medical Cannabis Act, that would allow Floridians with debilitating medical conditions to legally obtain and use marijuana if their doctors recommend it. Arkansans for Medical Cannabis submit ballot initiative for 2014 from OzarksFirst.com. Arkansans for Medical Cannabis submitted a ballot initiative with hopes of giving voters in the natural state a second opportunity to decide whether they want medical marijuana legalized. The group turned the ballot initiative into the Arkansas Attorney General's office Monday. The next step is for the initiative to be certified and placed on the ballot in 2014. A similar push failed last year, receiving 49% of the vote. A Massachusetts woman has sued FedEx, claiming the company mistakenly sent her a package containing 7 pounds of marijuana, then gave her address to the intended recipients, who later showed up at her door. From HuffingtonPost.com. Mary Angela Tobin of Plymouth said in the suit filed February 12th that by disclosing her address, the company violated state privacy laws and put herself and her children in danger. Police made an arrest in the case, but Tobin said now she's worried about retribution. And that's your 420 Radio News for Friday, March 1st, 2013. I'm Russ Belville. When we come back, we go behind the headlines and take a look at the phenomenon of green tongue and whether it has any basis in science whatsoever. You're listening to The Russ Belville Show on 420radio.org. We'll be right back after these messages. Herb Thrasher from the Herb Thrasher Flower Hour. Now get ready for Herb Age Designs for the proud cannabis consumer. Herb Age Designs, lifestyle gear for the 420 friendly. Herb Age Designs, home of the famous lighter leash. Herb Age Designs, get your Herb Age t-shirts and hoodies and show your pride. Herb Age Designs, we've got frisbee golf discs and durable hemp gear. Herb Age Designs. We've got shot glasses, drinking glasses, coffee mugs, and beer cozies. Check us out on Facebook and online at herbagedesigns.com. And follow Herb Age and Herb Thrasher on Twitter. We'll see you at this year's Hemp Fest. Crank it up.
What's to keep somebody from getting all potted up on weed and then getting behind the wheel?
The Russ Belville Show reminds you to never smoke and drive impaired. Hang out for a while. Share.
All right, folks, time for us to go behind the headlines, and we're taking a look at a driving phenomenon, and this is one that has brought a lot of controversy to the stops of people that are busted for marijuana, and this is the so-called green tongue phenomenon. I was turned on to this story that appeared in, I think it was Opposing Views. Let's see where it came from originally. One of the Seattle stations, I believe. And it has to do with a fellow by the name of Mike Simmons. He told Q13 Fox News up there in the Kent, Washington area, he got busted for driving under the influence of marijuana because he had a green tongue. Simmons claimed that the police officer told him that the green film on his tongue was a sign that he was using marijuana. Simmons admitted to using marijuana 3 days earlier, but was sober during the incident. Despite nothing being found in Simmons' car, the police officer claimed his green tongue was probable cause. Simmons denied the police's request for a blood sample and said he wanted a lawyer present for the blood draw. Good move. Under Washington state's new marijuana legalization law, a driver can't have more than 5 nanograms of THC in their blood. Simmons said he was put in jail Tuesday for 13 hours and is now in debt $5,000 for his lawyers and towing fees. Simmons has also been told he cannot drive while out on bail. So we've heard this green tongue phenomenon before, and I just wanted to, and pardon me if you're watching the screen here and this is offensive to you, but I'm going to show you my tongue. All right. Did anybody see a green tongue there? Because I smoke all day, every day, and you see me, you can go through videos and see plenty of me, and I don't think at any time I've exhibited a green tongue, nor have I had any problems crossing my eyes. That's another one they say is an identifying factor. Now, if this green tongue thing sounds familiar and you're a hip-hop fan, you may remember that Nas, the rapper, was busted in 2009 for a green tongue. This was he was arrested for a DUI near his Georgia home back in September. According to TMZ, the police report said Nas had a green tongue with raised taste buds and his pulse was raised to 116 beats a minute. The arresting officer says he observed eyelid tremors in both eyes and body tremors. Cops say the car smelled of raw marijuana. Nas told officers he had been smoking weed at his friend's house before he was busted. Nas flunked one of the field sobriety tests, the walking test, by taking the wrong number of steps. So Nas got busted in 2009 with the green tongue. Guess what happened? Nas's DUI case has been administratively dismissed. The reason? Not enough evidence because his drug test came back negative for drugs. including marijuana. Interesting, especially because Nas admitted to cops he had been smoking weed. So here's a case where he admits he smoked weed. Cops say they got a green tongue. Oh, obviously you must be high. Drug test comes back completely negative on the guy. So what does this green tongue actually mean? We've asked Dr. Mitch Earlywine about this on our show, and he has pointed out that there's nothing in any of the scientific literature to support the idea that the sign of a green tongue means that you've been smoking marijuana. Despite that, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the California Highway Patrol both train their officers and in their documentation. This is something from NHTSA, the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration. These are the following characteristics of a marijuana DUI, according to the government. Odor of marijuana in the car or on subject's breath, marijuana debris in mouth. I guess if you're, got a crappy pipe, no screen, badly rolled joint, you might have some speck, something. Or maybe they're eating it when they get caught. Okay, whatever. Green coating of tongue, bloodshot eyes, body and eyelid tremors, relaxed inhibitions, incomplete thought processes, and poor performance on field sobriety tests. So our government is saying that there's this green tongue that's indicative of a marijuana DUI with no science whatsoever to back that up. All right, so criminal defense lawyers have attacked this, of course, and I found this one lawyer's blog. It's gramlawyerblog.com, and this is something they found as far as how this has been handled in courts so far. It's a pretty new area of litigation, so there's not a lot of cases on this, but in Washington, the very same state, Kent, Washington, where this guy has been busted for green tongue, the Washington Court of Appeals questioned whether a green tongue establishes probable cause for anything. The court agreed with the defense lawyer that no probable cause existed, explaining, quote, Trooper Lane, that would be the cop named Lane who busted somebody, right? Trooper Lane contends that a green tongue is indicative of recent marijuana use. Even assuming he is correct, the absence of any other indicators of recent marijuana usage, combined with the many innocuous ways to get a green tongue, Jolly Ranchers, anybody? Indicate a lack of reasonable suspicion. Although we assume the officer's assertion to be true for the purposes of this opinion, because, cops wouldn't lie, we are nevertheless skeptical as to its accuracy. We find no case stating that recent marijuana usage leads to a green tongue. The only case we could find that remotely supports such a proposition is State v. Beatty from 2000, wherein the opinion's fact section mentions that the defendant, who had admitted to recent marijuana usage, also had a green tongue. Beyond this observation, however, the court never analyzes whether the green tongue and the recent marijuana usage are linked, and the officer who made the observation does not assert a connection between the two. So that's Washington State, and the DRE, the drug recognition expert, Trooper Lane, the cop, had written, he had raised taste buds on the back of his tongue and a green coating on his tongue. His lips were burnt and crusty on top and bottom lips. And dry lips, okay. His thumb and index fingers of both hands were discolored. The discoloration on his fingers and lips was consistent with holding hot, smoking pipes. End quote. All right, I don't know what kind of pipe it is that discolors your fingers. Joints might discolor your fingers if you're smoking them down to the roach. But a pipe would... never mind. So the lawyer writes, this seems a little fishy to me, and I eagerly awaited the toxicological report on the blood test. The results indicated that there was absolutely no marijuana, even in trace amounts, in the driver's blood. So much for the green tongue in the pot, right? Instead, there was methadone found in the driver's blood, as it was also found in the car. Okay, so that's Washington State. And then the Supreme Court in Utah covered a case that had to do with green tongue as well. This was State v. Heckley, I believe. They explained, quote, we are troubled by the trooper's reliance on the appearance of Heckley's tongue as dispositive proof of marijuana use. Even if we were persuaded to accept the state's position that the condition of Heckley's eyes and tongue are presumptively suggestive of marijuana use, nothing in the record indicates either how long these conditions are sustained or how long measurable quantities of marijuana remains in the system as required by the statute. So far as it's gone in the courts, nobody can show any backing for the so-called green tongue phenomenon.
Great. Drugs make me strong. Drugs make me...
You got to watch Gene Simmons. You never know where he's going to turn up. Crazy bastard. Hey, it's 20 after. We got to take a break. When we come back, we're going to get Herb Thrasher on the line and get some Rockin' Friday Daily Toker tunes.
Oh, have you ever met that funny reefer man? A reefer man. Have you ever met that funny reefer man? A reefer man. If he said he swam to China, he would sell you South Carolina. Then you know you're talking to that reefer man.
Big Daddy thinks.
Funky roller ring.
Oh yeah, this is Big Daddy, and I'll be your freakazoid every Thursday night, right here at the Funky Roller Ring.
Funky roller ring.
11 Eastern, 8 Pacific, only on RadicalRuss.com.
Great. Drugs make me strong. Drugs make me smart. Drugs make me feel good. Drugs make me cool. You believe that crap? Huh? You believe all that stuff they're handing you about drugs? You want to believe in something? How about yourself? Don't do drugs.
Everyone knows music and marijuana go together, so let's wind up our 20 after break with the Russ Belville Show's Daily Toker Tunes, the best in pod-safe 420 music from around the web. Today is Rockin' Friday, featuring rock, metal, and the hard edge of alternative country. You can get downloads and more information about all our Daily Toker Tunes by visiting music.radicalruss.com. Now, sit back and enjoy your Daily Toker Tunes.
All right, everybody, on Friday we get to rock, and Herb Thrasher joins us via telephone in preparation for the Flower Hour coming up tonight at 8 o'clock. How you doing, Herb? Oh, we got to unmute him.
It's a great day here in Portland where we've got everyone fooled that it rains here every day, so you guys keep staying away.
That's right. This is that fake spring we get where a couple days it's really nice and then it rains for the next 2 months.
No, that's right. February usually is like that, but all good stuff, man. Looking forward to tonight's Herb Thrasher Flower Hour. Have a great show lined up. Have a band, a real classic Hall of Fame band with an album that's 40 years old, and we'll look at that album a little bit, hear a couple songs from it. I got some news on Jake Orvis and the Goddamn Gallows. We play those guys a lot, and we'll come up with a little bit of news from them. And in honor of the individuals, sending them some pizza.
Yeah.
Some Chicago bands. There's actually a good 3, 4, 5 really, really popular bands from Chicago through the years that I bet a lot of you don't really know. So we'll look at that. Here's some new tunes from Flotsam and Jetsam and so on, and have some sports at 9 o'clock. And so just looking for a good time.
All right, man. So what do we got for the break today?
So, yeah, today for Rockin' Friday, in honor of, there's been a little bit of news out of Kentucky here recently with Senate Bill 50, and what it is there's a commissioner there who's put together a hemp bill, and he's trying to get the state to move towards more of a hemp industry kind of bill, and things were looking great, and then yesterday it hit a little bit of a snag. There's a representative there, Tom McKee, so you guys remember that name? He's a little bit of a dog, it sounds like, and he's getting with the police, and they're all trying to axe this thing. So there's a back and forth kind of playing going on there, but in honor of that, we felt like Kentucky was a good thing to go, and so the Motor City Daredevils, they have a song called The Kentucky Highway, and it's off their album Hot Sauce, and these guys are rock, southern rock kind of sounding, have a little bit of a boogie sound to them, and influenced from the 70s British kind of southern rock bands, and maybe anywhere from Led Zeppelin to Lynyrd Skynyrd. Today they kind of sound like Clutch, maybe Wolf Mother, that type stuff. But good stuff. You know, Kentucky, man, you guys keep pushing away. We'd love to see some Kentucky highways full of hemp on both sides. Mm-hmm. And you guys join us tonight, Herb Thrasher Flower Hour at 8 p.m., 420radio.org. And you guys keep rocking, stay safe, and turn it up. Here's the Motor City Daredevils with Kentucky Highway.
You got me hold on me, girl, baby, you know it's true. Gotta get me on that road and go down to get away from you. Baby, don't you treat me wrong, you know I got to go. Have my case and grab my stuff and leave that open road. Oh, baby, you got me on that lonely road again. Kentucky highway, Kentucky highway, Kentucky highway, Kentucky highway. Driving all night long, passing many miles, just thinking how you done me wrong. Don't you try, you know my love will have no guarantee. Ain't no one to blame for wasting all your time with me. Oh, baby, you got me on that lonely road again. Kentucky highway, Kentucky highway, Kentucky highway, Kentucky highway. You got me on that open road, but I ain't carrying that load. I travel on my pedal down. That road's too long to stick around. 1,500 miles and now I left my world behind. Kept my engine running and I got you off my mind. Oh babe, I'm cruising on that lonely road again. Kentucky highway, Kentucky highway, Kentucky highway, Kentucky highway.
Who is it?
It's me, Dave. Open up, man. I got the stuff.
Who is it?
It's me, Dave, man. Open up. I got the stuff.
Who?
It's Dave, man. Open up. I think the cops saw me come in here.
Who is it?
It's Dave, man. Will you open up? I got the stuff with me.
Who?
Dave, man. Open up.
Dave?
Yeah, Dave. Come on, man. Open up. I think the cops saw me.
Dave's not here.
Open up the door. It's Dave.
Who?
Dave. D-A-V-E. Will you open up the goddamn door? Yeah, Dave.
Dave?
Right, man. Dave. Now, will you open up the door?
Dave's not here.
Oh.
Are you or is someone you know a marijuana smoker? Have you or is someone in your family been arrested for a marijuana violation? You need to know the truth about pot. NORML, the National Organization for the Reform of Marijuana Laws, is the most comprehensive source of information regarding marijuana and its effects on health, as well as legal issues. NORML even offers a database of lawyers specializing in cannabis in your area. NORML, the nation's largest and most successful marijuana law reform organization, has spent decades gathering the knowledge and science on everything related to cannabis. NORML is the best resource to find out the truth about marijuana, connect with a lawyer in your area, or help find an end to prohibition. Information is available at norml.org, that's NORML.org, or toll free at 888-67-NORML.
Activism begins with ACT. The Russ Belville Show features the stories of hardworking grassroots activists working for an end to prohibition in today's activist agenda.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Half past, and time for us to get beyond the Border Patrol, man. You got to watch out for these guys. Within 100 miles of any U.S. border or shoreline, you can be detained without probable cause for questioning by the U.S. Border Patrol. However, you don't have to answer the questions. You are a citizen. You have constitutional rights. And if you assert those rights, you are more than likely going to get through that encounter with the Border Patrol. We have a new video from the 3sonorans.com showing Latino activists challenging the Border Patrol stops by asserting their constitutional rights. Good lessons for us all to learn. These are actual, real encounters that have been provided on video from 3sonorans.com. Let's check out the video.
What's up, man?
How you doing today, sir?
Good.
You a U.S. citizen?
That's my business.
Well, it's our business to ask. Are you a U.S. citizen or not?
You can ask, that's fine.
And you have to answer me, or I have to detain you until you can either tell me that you're a U.S.
Well, I
citizen.
don't have to answer you because I have rights as an American.
Sir, go ahead and pull over there. We're behind that other vehicle if you do me a favor.
No thanks.
Go to secondary for me, sir, to the right?
No.
I need you to go to secondary, sir,
No, thank you.
to the right?
No.
What's up, man?
What's up?
All right. Can we have you pull in secondary, please?
No, thank you. I'd like to go free on my way. You know, I thought this is America. I thought I had some freedom to travel unmolested, and I'm just trying to go about my business here. You know, I don't have time to play games with you guys. I don't know what you think you're doing here.
Pull up secondary, sir.
No, thank you.
I want you to pull up secondary, sir.
No, thanks.
I need you to
I
pull up secondary.
want to go free on my way. You know, correct me if I'm wrong. Did I stumble into Mexico, or is this still United States?
No, it's the United States.
Okay, well then therefore I should have the freedom to travel unmolested because I'm in America here. So,
Go ahead, go.
go ahead and go where?
Keep going on the road.
Okay, see you later.
You're right. How's it going? Yeah, is this your car? Yes, sir. You mind if I take a look in the trunk? I do mind. You do mind?
Yes, sir.
Can I have you pull into secondary?
What's your name?
My name's Eric Moorhead.
Is there any reason to believe that I broke an immigration law, or why do you want to check into?
I was just wondering if you would mind.
No, but what's the reason to want to check my trunk?
Just your car is dirty.
Of what country are you a citizen?
What's the purpose of the stop?
Immigration checkpoint.
Okay, what's the scope of the stop?
Immigration checkpoint. Of what country are you a citizen?
Who do you work for?
U.S. Border Patrol.
Am I being detained?
No, I'm asking you a simple question.
Am I free to go?
I'm asking you a question. You need to answer my question.
Am I being detained?
You need to answer my question, sir.
Am I being detained?
Sir, you need to answer my question.
Am I being detained? I would like to go on my way if I'm not being detained. Am I being detained?
I'm asking you a question. You need to answer my question.
Telling you. I'm asking you if I'm being detained.
I'm just asking you, for the purposes of immigration, I need to ask you of what country you're a citizen.
Am I being detained?
I'm asking you, are you being, what country?
Am I free to go?
You need to answer my question.
Are you refusing to allow me to go on my way?
You know what? You need to answer my question.
Are you refusing to allow me to go on my way?
Can you pull over to secondary?
Are you refusing to allow me to go on my way? Am I being detained?
I'm asking you to pull over to secondary.
Am I being detained?
Can you pull over to secondary, please?
Am I being detained?
I'm asking for the purposes of immigration. You need to pull over to...
Am I being detained?
Can you pull over to the secondary?
You've told me now that I'm not being detained. Am I free to go?
Sir, can you answer my question?
Am I being detained?
For the purposes of immigration, I need to ask you of what country you're a citizen.
You can ask me whatever you want. Am I being detained?
You are not being detained, sir.
Am I free to go? Okay, she's now looking around my vehicle. I'm free to go?
Have a good day.
Good morning. Am I free to go?
Yeah, are you a U.S. citizen?
Am I free to go?
As soon as you answer the question, if you're a U.S. citizen.
Sir, am I free to go?
As soon as you answer the question, if you're a U.S. citizen.
Where's the border at?
It's 50 miles that way, sir.
50 miles?
Yes, sir. Actually, we're at the 20-mile marker, so it's actually 30 miles.
Yeah. Did I cross it?
No, sir. 2 seconds. Sir, as soon as I'm satisfied you're a U.S. citizen, you can go on your way.
What's your name?
My name is Ethan Donnelly. It's right there.
Donnelly?
Yes,
what's
sir.
your badge number?
I don't have my badge on. How you doing, sir?
How you doing?
Are you doing all right?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. How are you doing, sir?
Good, thank you.
Am I free to go, sir?
Well, sir, we need to find out if there's anybody else with you. Are you holding anybody else with you?
Am I free to go?
Not yet. Not until we find out if you have anybody with you.
I plead the Fifth Amendment, sir.
Really?
Yes, sir.
And why is that? Do you have anything to hide? Are you breaking the law right now?
You tell me. Am I breaking the law?
Do you have anybody else back there?
Am I free to go?
Do you have anybody else back there?
What's your name?
You know what my name is. Yeah, I have a name tag. What is
Zavala?
What
is that correct?
What is that you're hiding in there? You hiding anything? Tell me. Are you hiding anything?
Am I free to go?
Are you hiding anything in there? Tell me. We can stay all day here playing your little game.
Okay.
You have a problem with law enforcement?
I choose not to answer any more questions, sir. Not without a lawyer present.
All right.
Okay.
I appreciate next time you come through here, you be more cooperative so you can make our job easier. Thank you. You're free to go.
Is being cooperative giving up my rights?
You a citizen, sir?
Respectfully, sir, I do not have to answer that question.
Sir, are you a citizen?
I don't have to answer that question, sir.
What's that?
I don't have to answer that question. I'm sorry.
What country are you a citizen of?
Again, I'm sorry. I don't have to answer that question, sir. I'd
Okay.
like to travel freely down the road,
Okay,
please.
do me a favor and pull in lane 2 over there then.
No, thank you. I just want to travel down the road.
No,
please.
actually you have to. I'm ordering you to park over there in lane 2.
Why is
This
that,
is an
sir?
immigration inspection, and you are not satisfying my need that you are a U.S. citizen.
Well, see,
So pull
you
over
have
lane 2.
a reasonable suspicion to ask me that. What is your reasonable suspicion?
Supervisor in car 1. Sir, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, sir. Again, like I've explained, I'm a private citizen. I like to freely travel down this road without having to answer questions from federal agents. Unless we're living in a police state, unless this is Mexico or Nazi Germany, it's still America, and I can travel down this road without having to answer questions from federal agents.
And all you have to do is say I'm a U.S. citizen and
Right.
you'll be on your way.
But this is a
instead,
matter.
You're making a
this
big
is,
deal
this
about
is a matter of principle to me, sir. It's
The fact that you're not answering an immigration question is the necessary suspicion I have to send you to secondary.
You asked me that question before I refused to answer. So what was the suspicion that I was an alien?
From the very get-go.
Right.
How about you, sir? Are you willing to answer the question? Are you a U.S.
We
citizen?
just want to go on our way, sir.
Are you a U.S. citizen or
Do you
not?
have a suspicion I'm not? We just want to go on our way.
I don't want to hold up traffic. I want to freely travel down the road. May I do that?
You may.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
See that, Laredo? That is how you resist tyranny, and that is how you resist a warrantless, unconstitutional checkpoint.
Are you an American citizen?
to answer that question.
Okay, well then we're going to be here for a while. Sir, are you an American
Yeah.
citizen?
Are
you detaining us? Yeah, do you have any ID on you?
Am I under arrest, officer?
You're being detained, yes. Because I can't discern whether or not you're an American citizen, and that's my job.
I know the
I'm gonna do
Constitution pretty well,
exactly
don't
that. I know the Constitution even better. Do you have any ID?
Are you detaining everyone?
I'm detaining everyone because you're in the vehicle.
Well, I can
So,
get out.
here's the deal.
You want to keep me overnight?
Whatever you want to do, kid. It's up to you.
I'm an adult. I'm a former U.S. Marine.
I don't know that. You mind shutting the camera, please?
Why is that?
What's that?
Why is that?
Why is that? Because I would just like to know if you could shut the camera for me, please.
For what?
So that you're just not filming me. That's all why I'm talking.
It's my right to, sir.
It's okay. You can do whatever you want. I was just asking if you could do that. Do you mind rolling down the window, please?
Well, that's as much as I feel like rolling it down, sir.
Excuse me?
This is as much as I'm going to roll it down, sir.
That's as much as you're going to roll it down,
Yes.
sir? Okay. Can you shut off the vehicle, please, ma'am? Can you please shut off the vehicle? You don't
What's the
mind stepping
purpose
out?
of this stop, sir?
The purpose of this stop is an immigration checkpoint, sir. Okay? You were instructed just a minute ago by the person at point to come over to secondary for further inspection, and you guys just ran the point.
No, not at all. He waved us by.
He didn't wave you by. He waved you over here. That's why we stopped you right there just a second ago.
Oh, we thought he waved us by. I apologize for that. You know, I
He waved
didn't.
you by and said, continue to go on.
Yeah, that's what I thought. He did it with the other cars, and he told us to wait, go on. That's.
Go here.
Oh, I thought
He asked you to come right over
He
here.
was waving just like the other cars that kept going. Same hand signal, same everything.
Now, if you don't mind shutting off the vehicle, please, and come out, please, real quick.
Do I have to get out of the car?
Well, so I can run checks on you, sir.
Do I have to get out of the car?
Either that or I'm going to extract you out of the car, sir, because you're impeding me doing my job as far as finding out your immigration and running checks on you. I don't know if you're an act felon, sir. I don't know what you're...
Is there any reason to suspect that I am?
Well, as of what just happened right now, there's a possibility.
It was a misunderstanding, sir.
I understand. If it's a misunderstanding, then there should be no reason why your hand is shaking or why you wouldn't be...
I got asthma, sir. That's why my hand shakes.
Perfectly fine.
Okay, I have a hard time breathing.
Misunderstanding, then there should be no reason why the normal person would allow us to run checks on their identification to see if they happen to have criminal history or anything else like that.
Is there a reason to believe that we do?
There is as of right now, because you're not...
What is that? What is that reason?
Well, you're not being cooperative.
That doesn't give you guys a reason to run my name or check my papers or anything.
It gives us more than a reason to do that, sir, especially after what we just saw right now. With you guys going
we got the same wave through as everybody else did, sir.
Excuse me?
We got the same wave through as everybody else did, sir.
According to him, you did, and according to him, he sent you aside right now. Okay?
Yeah, because I have a camera and I'm recording you guys. You wanted me to shut my camera off immediately.
I asked you to. Okay, if you don't want to, that's up to you. But as far as you impeding us doing our job, okay, that's a big difference right there. Okay, you have all the right in the world.
I have no problem with you guys doing your job, sir.
Sir, you have all the right in the world, okay, to use that camera and videotape it, okay? But as far as you impeding our job of what we're supposed to do here at the checkpoint, okay?
What is your job?
Our job here, okay, our job here, is, as far as this, is to see your immigration, okay?
Ain't that like Nazi Germany where we have to show our papers?
No, it's not, sir.
Ain't that what we're against?
You don't have to be videotaping me.
No.
Okay, I'm gonna need you to pull to the side here so we can get it out. Go ahead and open it.
For what? No, we're not going to do that.
I'm sorry?
We don't have anything. We're not going to do that.
Well, I need to conduct an inspection. Let me call my supervisor then.
Sir?
Hey, how you doing?
Okay. This is night cultural inspection. We need to...
I need to find your probable cause as to why you would doubt when I said no. She's upset because she's being filmed, and so she's kind of using that to have us pull over. But I need to know your probable cause.
Probable cause? We think you might be carrying...
What's your probable cause on that, though?
Agricultural commodities. Fruit. Fruit that may contain pests that we don't want or need.
Where we don't have it. Right. We're able to go from state to state without unconstitutional Fourth Amendment checkpoints.
I see. So
right. I don't have any tomatoes, and I don't have any oranges. So what else do you need?
I'm not going to take your word for it.
You're not getting in a vehicle without a warrant.
Okay.
I'm telling you that.
What I need you to do is...
So where's your warrant and your probable cause?
Pull your vehicle over...
No, what gave you the probable cause?
Huh?
What gave you probable cause
to think... You're traveling on this road, you're in a motorhome.
That automatically makes somebody...
You have a refrigerator in there.
Huh? So what?
We will send you back out of state.
What guidelines? On what right do you have to send us out of state?
I'll come on in the office and
I'm not coming in any office, and we're not letting you in this vehicle without a warrant.
Okay. You have.
We just want to be on our way.
You're not leaving. You need to go back.
We're not going back. We're going in the state of it.
You need to
what authority do you have to tell me to leave the state?
Come on in the office.
I'm not coming in any office. I'm not exiting this vehicle, and you're not getting in here without a warrant. I'm going to ask you one more time. Am I free to go?
No, you're not.
Am I being detained?
I guess if you wanted to
I'm asking you.
on out of here, you could do that.
Am I being detained? Am I being detained? I'm asking you.
Your forward progress is stopped.
Okay, so am I being detained?
Yes.
The Fourth Amendment just magically doesn't disappear, sir.
Okay, right now you're...
Are we free to go?
Can you please pull over over there?
Officer, we haven't committed a crime. Are we free to go?
I'm giving you a direct order to go over there and pull over.
So if you bought it in Arizona, most everything is okay.
Oh, okay, well, we're good.
I need to inspect to make sure.
Yeah, well, you're not getting on this truck without a warrant.
Okay. We'll send you back to Arizona.
Under what authority?
I
have the right to travel the United States without being stopped at Nazi checkpoints.
They're going to stop you the next checkpoint at Border Patrol, too, and you have to do the same thing.
What's up, you an American citizen?
Are you a citizen?
Are you an American citizen?
Yes, sir.
Do you have an ID on you?
No, sir.
You got an ID? Let me see your ID.
What's that?
I had to make sure you're an American citizen.
Are you both U.S. citizens?
You got an ID on you?
Do you?
Where you been today?
Go ahead and go, sir.
Where you heading to?
Go ahead.
Where you heading to?
I think the last one's the best one, folks. Know your rights. I've got the link to that posted up in our chat room. We'll also have that in our blog at radicalruss.com. We'll put it up at 420 Radio as well. One of the best videos I've seen. Well, it's early still in the year, but I'm going to say all year. Great work. The original source, 3sonorans.com. And remember, you assert your rights. Brian commented on the part about, normal citizens wouldn't do that. Yeah, we're not normal. We know our rights.
You're tuned into the Russ Belville Show, the voice of the marijuana nation.
NORMAL stands for Responsible Adult Cannabis Use. If cannabis use is causing problems in your life, consider taking a break or seeking medical assistance. Consider ceasing cannabis use if you have a family history of mental illness. Don't drive or operate heavy machinery while impaired by cannabis use. Cannabis use is not without risks, even though the risks are far less than those posed by legal drugs.
Sir, do you think there will or should come a time for us to discuss the possibility of legalization, regulation, and control of all drugs, thereby doing away with the violent criminal market as well as a major source of funding for international terrorism? Thank you so much for your time, Mr. President.
Well, I think this is an entirely legitimate topic for debate.
Name the time and place, Mr. President. Radical Russ has been prepping for this debate full-time since 2005.
You want answers? I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore! You want answers?
You have offended my family.
I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth!
And you have offended the Shaolin Temple.
You can't handle the truth!
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
Radical Rant. All right, once again, the source that never stops giving me topics to rant about. Kevin Sabet, once again in the news. He was out in Ohio at Westchester Township, speaking to about 100 members of the community there on his barnstorming tour, the Just Say No to Legalization tour, with his Project Sam, and had a couple of interesting quotes here. I'll get to the really egregious one here, and the main subject of this rant in a moment. But I wanted to get to a couple others that he had mentioned. He said, quote, "This is not the hippies in Berkeley hanging out on Telegraph Hill. This is about big business." End quote. And that's his continuation of the, big marijuana. Like, oh no, big marijuana is going to be the next big tobacco, except what they sell won't cause cancer. Other than that, right? Big marijuana will be like big tobacco. It'll create jobs, and it will bring jobs for farms, and it will create a whole lot of tax revenue. That, like big tobacco. And unlike the current big marijuana in Mexico, it won't solve its disputes by beheading people. So that's the big marijuana you need to be really afraid of. He also continues on with this sad analogy. Quote, "We don't smoke opium to get the effect of morphine. So why smoke marijuana to get relief?" End quote. This is their continuation of the idea that plants can't be medicine, right? Look, medicine is something that helps or heals you. It can be refined. It can be processed. We do that with a lot of drugs. And we did that with opium. We refined it to morphine. In a lot of ways, it's superior in its refined form. However, if, say, a zombie apocalypse comes and you get bitten on the leg and you're forced to hack your leg off and you're in an enormous amount of pain and there's an opium pipe handy for whatever reason, you'll find it to be quite beneficial as a medicine. So enough with that. Comparing opium and cannabis, comparing cannabis and opium is like comparing apples and well, opium for that matter. I mean, it's just ridiculous. So stop with that stupid analogy. But the number one thing I wanted to get to in this rant, the most offensive thing, and he said a variation on this in numerous talks, quote, 90% of medical marijuana patients are registered for ailments such as headaches and athlete's foot. Yeah. Headaches and athlete's foot. Kevin Sabat, I hereby defy you to find one of the 54,000 medical marijuana patients in Oregon who is registered solely for athlete's foot. I defy you. What Kevin likes to do in this little game is he likes to play the California equals medical marijuana game. Right. That we look at California, whatever egregious abuse there is. Oh, somebody got medical marijuana for tennis elbow. Oh, it's an egregious abuse, right? Rather than using, I don't know, acetaminophen or Tylenol or something. But yeah, egregious abuse because, California equals medical marijuana. Here's a news bulletin, Kevin. California is not what medical marijuana is in any other state. There's California, and there's a bunch of other states that have medical marijuana. In fact, California, I would be comfortable with calling quasi-legalization. Right? It's really getting a permission slip is what you have to do. You have to see a doctor to get your permission slip. So let's take California out of the debate. Let's take a look at this. 90% are registered for ailments such as headaches and athlete's foot. This is a variation on something he said previously, like only 5% are registered for cancer or AIDS. Although the other day he said it was 10% that are registered for cancer or glaucoma. He's got a bunch of numbers that are bouncing around there. And I believe it was Mike Riggs out at Reason.com also has written a piece on this, kind of noting, gee, guys, what's your talking point here? What's your number? You're going to pick one and stick to it or what? So I decided to actually, look stuff up because that's what I do. And I got some numbers for you here that I'll put up on the screen for those of you that are watching on the live feed. And for those of you who are listening on the podcast, I'll describe them to you. It's kind of tough coming by some of these statistics. Of the 18 medical marijuana states, there are only 5 that publish any of their statistics. And of course, California doesn't have a registry, so there's really no statistics to find. Washington State, no registry, doesn't really have statistics. Other states don't bother to, keep the statistics. The law doesn't require them to, like, say, Maine or something. Others, you have to do a Freedom of Information Act, like I've requested from, say, Vermont and I believe Michigan I sent one into today and so forth. New Mexico, you got to send in a request. But there's 5 states, Oregon, Colorado, Montana, Nevada, and Arizona, that publish their statistics for medical marijuana program on the web. So I looked them up. Now, I'm real familiar with the Oregon one. I've used this for quite a bit. Here's the trick that Kevin Sabat likes to play. He likes to come down to this number here, this pain number, the 51,406 people registered for pain, and then he'll divide that by the 54,000 some odd patients there are and say, aha! 90% of these people are getting their medical marijuana for pain. 93%, 94%, I think he said for Colorado, are getting it just for pain. As if that's a bad thing, right? But that's supposed to mean that they're faking, right? They're lying about their ailment, whatever it might be. Despite the fact that in all these states, most of these states other than California, you have to bring in like doctor's records. You have to have medical records documenting this stuff. But nevertheless, that's his theory, right? That's his hypothesis, is that these people are just faking it. And it represents 95% or 94% or whatever number he picks out of the department of his ass to represent who are faking it. Well, here's the actual problem with that. Number one, in these states, you can register for more than one condition. So, is it possible that having cancer might also give you some pain? Is it possible that having multiple sclerosis might be a little painful? When you take all of the conditions in the state of Oregon and you add them all up, you get almost 80,000 conditions that are being treated out of 54,000 patients. So you got, a bunch of patients that have 2 or more conditions. Now, unfortunately, the Oregon statistics don't give you the breakdown of how many people are registered for how many conditions so that you can accurately tell exactly how many are pain only. But if you take a look at all the conditions divided by the 51,000, or the 51,000 divided by the almost 80,000 conditions there are, then you get 64% of the people in Oregon, of the conditions being treated for marijuana, with medical marijuana, 64% of those are for pain. Now, if you do some little algebra with this, if you do a little work with this, you can come up with some very interesting information. There are a total of 54,500 patients in Oregon. That means there has to be at least 25,000 that are, or at most 25,000 that have 2 or more conditions. Mathematically, it just has to be that way, right? You got almost 80,000 conditions. You got about 55,000 patients. There's got to be about 25,000 of them that have more than one condition. That means about 46.5% of the patients there have more than one condition. Pain could be one of them. Now, if you add up all the conditions on the program that are not pain, that's 28,500 conditions. That's about 52% of all the patients. Now, again, they could be registering for 2 or 3 or 4 things at a time. So even that number is not quite accurate, but it starts to give us some idea of the ballpark. Now, the largest population of non-pain condition in Oregon is the spasticity. That's the multiple sclerosis and other diseases that cause spasticity, which is 14,000 patients. 14,000 people have registered for that. So that's the greatest non-pain condition. If you take these numbers and do a little math with them, the worst, you can get yourself a ballpark. You can get an area, a possibility, a mathematical set, a boundary, a range, if you will, of what could be the number of pain-only patients in the state of Oregon. The worst it could be is 26,000. Worst it could be is about 48% of the patients are only registering for pain. And what would have to happen for that to exist would be all the patients who have non-pain conditions are registering for pain. And the best it could be is about 40,000, or about 73% of the patients could be pain only. And that would be if all the people with the spasticity disorders were also registering for all the other disorders, and everybody left over was pain only. So, the range of pain-only people in Oregon could only mathematically possibly be between 48 and 73%, and yet Kevin Sabet will like to tell you it's 94.2 because he just divides the number of pain patients by the number of total patients. That's the kind of mathematical trickery he's using to try to fool people about medical marijuana. And these numbers bear out in other states. When we take a look at the Colorado medical marijuana statistics, 73% of all conditions are pain only. And when we look at the numbers, the range can be between 66% and 84% could be pain only, not the 94% that Kevin Sabet likes to claim. If we take a look at the state of Nevada, I believe is the next one. Montana. Its condition lists are somewhat different. They add up cancer, glaucoma, and AIDS all together. But again, pain only, the most it's 72%, 73% of all the conditions, but the range is probably between 70 and 87%. In the state of Nevada, we have registered statistics that show us 61% of all conditions are pain, and the range could be between 43% and 73%, not the 90% that Kevin Sabet would like you to believe it is. If we take all 4 of those states and combine their registry statistics, we find 70% of all conditions are pain only, and the range must be somewhere between 60 and 80%, not 94%, as Kevin Sabet would like you to believe. Sometimes they make my job far too easy. Now, this may not represent all the rest of the states. A whole lot of states we're not considering here because we don't have their registry statistics online. But when I get those Freedom of Information requests, I'll update that spreadsheet and I'll make a nice big posting of it on my blog at radicalruss.com. Hey folks, that's all the time we got for today. Thanks for joining us. Stay tuned for Hour 2, Toker Talk Radio. For Brian the Red, I'm Radical Russ. Until next time, take care of each other, Tokers.
This is the Russ Belville Show. The Russ Belville Show is blogging and podcasting daily at radicalruss.com.
You grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it. You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it. You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you roll it, you smoke it, and it goes down.